Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the $300 tank. Now, I'm not talking about the Rinocerente, no. This is the free T10 Italian heavy tank. If you want the Felice, which is the correct term, by the way, well, you're going to have to either spend about $300 in the store to guarantee that you get the tank, or you can get a bunch of these tickets and get yourself, for every 270 tickets, you'll be able to get yourself 3 containers. And each of these containers may contain the Feliche. Now, can I just comment on one thing? Meadsy made a video the other day, or yesterday I should probably say, calling the Feliche the Felice. Now, I've known Meadsy for a while now. I love the bloke. He's a very good dear friend of mine. But for the God's sake, has he not learned anything about how to pronounce certain names of tanks? Now, don't get me wrong. I fall in the same pool here. I've also called certain tanks incorrectly. But Felice, come on, bro. It's Felice. It's Italiano. Italiano che niente. Felice. Anyway, there's a 2.5% drop chance that this crate may contain the Feliche, which is, of course, this thing right here. Now, it does have a reserve shell. This is essentially a more heavily armoured Rinocerente, and it has a decent amount of armour. 270 mils on the front of the turret, 200 on the hull, 180 on the sides of the turret, 150 on the sides of the hull. You have 2100 DPM as standard. 4.5 second is your intra-crip reload. So between each shell, when you fire them, it's 4.5 seconds. You're doing around about 440 alpha per shot. And you have 4 shells in your magazine. Technically speaking, you have 3 because one of them is a reserve shell. But obviously, if you just fire the first shot, it will reload in about 7.67 seconds plus the 4.5 seconds. So you've got to add those together. Your pen is pretty good, 247 mils of AP pen. Heat is 317, 67 on your HE, 5.7 second aim time, 0.374 dispersion, 8 degrees of gun depression, and 30 kilometers per hour top speed. I love this tank. I love testing this thing. It was great fun, and I loved it. It was a great tank to play. How does it compare to the Rinocerente? Well, we're going to make a separate video talking about these 2 tanks, but for the time being, let's have a look at how well the Feliche can actually play. So we're going to be watching my friend Goldie on Blitz, who is a fellow CC. Congratulations, my friend, on getting CC. He is playing on Black Goldville, and he's playing in his Feliche. See, Meadsy, it's not hard to pronounce it. Feliche, not Felice. I think overall, we can concur that the Feliche is a really good tank. Now, some people are saying, oh, it's trash, it's crap. I think it's a really, really good tank. Now, I will say, based on Blitz kit, the first time around when it was available and it was getting tested, it was pretty damn strong. And then obviously, I think Wargaming nerfed the tank a bit post, which obviously Blitz kit actually showcased. They nerfed it a little bit, which is fair enough. I think it was a bit too strong, to be honest with you. I'm not going to comment on how it was when I played it, because obviously I am a tester. But I will say, based on what Blitzkit was telling, obviously, the people, or the player base, it seemed to be, strong, and the Wargaming decided to nerf it, it seems. That's what we obviously were getting from the leaks that were being made by Eason and, of course, Blitzkit. So it's nice to see that. That being said, what's there to say about the tank itself? Well, is it worth the $300 price tag? No, absolutely not. In fact, no tank, no matter how new it is worth the $300 price tag. It's too expensive. By the way, he gets an ammo rack there. And that bumps his damage up to 2,800 damage with 1 kill. Because that's what you want to do. You want to get that ammo rack. Now, he had to fire his last shell, his reserve shell, so fair enough, he has to wait. I wouldn't recommend firing that last shell there. I know you've done over 600 damage, fair enough, but it means you're going to have to wait longer to reload that last shell, because it is a reserve shell. That being said, there isn't anyone close to him that he can fire, so he went ahead and did it anyway. Oh, well, of course, there is a 183, and the 183 basically hits his tracks and doesn't pen, fair enough. And what that means is it showcases just how good the armor on the tank is. It's actually got a very nice armor profile compared to the Rhinocerente. Now, the Rhinocerente has a great turret armor layout. It's very trolled, it's very strong. The whole armor is not as strong. It is still strong, but it's not as strong as the Feliche. The Feliche is literally just a super heavy tank, it's sort of done in a conventional manner with a basically very similar gun. With the Rhino, you have, I believe it's 2 shells. With this, you have 4 shells, so obviously your burst damage is going to be more compared to the Rhinocerente. So, yes, the Rhino is free, you just got to grind the bloody thing. Is this tank better than the Rhino? Honestly, I don't think it's better. I think they're both on par with each other. But again, here we go. We're going to see him absolutely wreck this 183, by the way. One shot, 414 alpha damage. Gets a bounce on there, 410 alpha bounce. Bounces his second shell, unfortunately. Is he going to get a shot there? Yes, he is. 451 alpha. Let's see if the 183 can pin him. Yes, he can. He pinned right through the top of his turret there, and lost 1,000 hit points, which is what you're going to get with this tank. Rather with the 183. So there's 2 kills now. He's blocked 2,000 damage, and he's done 5,691 alpha. All up. Now it's him versus 2 other tanks. Now those 2 other tanks are the Kranwagen, who was basically on a one-shot, and the Vickers light tank. So he's going to do something which every single player should do. And that is to fall back. Just fall back. If you have an auto-reloader, reload all your shells. There's no reason why you should go balls deep into the enemy territory against 2 other tanks while you're on your own and you still reloading your gun. There's no point. Just step back, recharge, reload your gun. The Kranwagen does manage to get 1 shot into him, unfortunately. He's not going to bounce everything. He hits him another time. He's on 430 hit points. He's on 55 hit points now because the Vickers Light has shot him. So he needs to be very careful. Very, very careful. He gets another bounce on the side of his armor. He gets a bounce on the side of his armor. He's on 55 hit points. His commander is dead. That's going to be a bit of an issue because, well, the commander is sort of responsible for, obviously, looking after the tank. And if the commander's been killed or he's been injured, well, it's going to be a bit of an issue. What he needs is a nice high roll, and he gets that. Vickers thought he was being slick by moving down the hill that way and jumping off. Yeah, not going to happen there, mate. Good game, Mr. Goldie. Good game indeed. Definitely showcasing the strengths and weaknesses of the Feliche. I think we can comfortably say that was a good battle. So there we go. Look at that. So he got an Ace Mastery, Top Gun, High Caliber. Of course, he got the Spartan medal there. Very nice indeed. 6,404 damage, 2,420 damage blocked, 4 killed. Here is the results of that match. The bloody Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. Can't believe he only did 94 damage. Like, dude, come on, man. You're a light tank, a T10 light tank. There's no reason why you should be doing 94 damage. And it looks like he is an 11-year player. Fantastic. Great work. Anyway, that is the Feliche. Do I think it's worth it for the price? No, absolutely not. Wait for this thing to be as cheap as possible. If you really, really want to buy a bunch of those tanks with gold to get tickets, you're more than welcome to do so. You can purchase these Feliche containers. Try your luck if you really want to. If you don't want to get 3,000 of those tickets because you're going to need that much to actually get the tank, which means you're going to have to spend a lot of money. If that's what you want to do, you have a bunch of gold you want to get rid of, be my guest. But again, there's no guarantee you're going to get a tank unless you purchase a large amount of gold and you get enough tickets, and you should hypothetically be able to get enough charms to get the tank for a lot cheaper. So that would be my advice. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield. And no gambling. And don't waste your money.